Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Playing Olaroon, your resident sad boy, Warlock Paladin. ASMR, Warlock Paladin.
And we have Eric. Hi, I'm playing Sirach, the Arakocra Horizon Walker Ranger, and with me tonight I also have Pip, playing the part of Sirach.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm playing Fable Frost, the Ice Genasi Phoenix Soul Sorcerer.
Megan, I'm playing Sarai Landir, the Elidrin Glamour Bard.
Hey y'all, name's Maz. I'll be playing Talroth Openblade, Wood Elf Scout.
Okay, so before we get into tonight's adventure, we do have a couple of quick announcements. Let's see, we have a giveaway happening this Thursday for some pins from our Bardic Pinspiration. We are all super excited about that. Have we decided how we will be choosing the winner? Do we want to have like a post to share, or...
Yeah, just keep an eye on all the socials as we get closer.
Okay.
We're still officially nailing that down, but it is probably going to be a tag and share sort of situation. So
Cool.
Absolutely keep in touch with the everything there.
Mhm.
So.
And so if we're doing something like that, I guess the more places you follow us and you can tag and share with us, the more
Yes.
chances you have to win.
Correct, sir.
Ooh, that sounds nice. So, but we will, let's see, maybe by the end of tonight we can announce what, like last time we did a DM pin, we'll do like another theme on the pin giveaway, I think. So we'll talk about that.
Well, we don't have a mole hunt or a local town espionage pin, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, yeah, we don't have one specific for those.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. Tomorrow night, Cole, I believe we are going with Storm King's Thunder.
Yes. Due to some staffing issues, however, we're trying to figure out who will fill out one of the slots, since somebody has work, which is great and terrible all at the same time.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know,
A whole entire mood.
money is important, and this is how we get the money. So we will always have a spot for people to come back to, but we want to make sure that we have a solid cast for all of our shows. So,
Yep.
But yes, Storm King's Thunder will happen tomorrow. We are looking into doing Call of Cthulhu next Wednesday, or is it this Wednesday, Meg? Do you have any updates on that?
Sure am muted. I think we're maybe going to look into this week.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Then Thursday night is going to be our giveaway with Wildmount, and we'll let you know the rest of the week as we get closer to it, but that's what we got. Also, one of the fun things that we have going on is if you've liked our pin designs, Caitlin has been hard at work on some new t-shirt designs over on the Threadless stores. I think the ampersand designs for...
Listen, buy that shit before Wizard shuts us down, because as of right now, that is a eligible and usable design that they have released into like a standard I was able to purchase it to use it, basically.
Yep.
They may rescind that again and ask for people to cease and desist. The legality of using the ampersand changes on like a day-to-day basis. So get that design as fast as you can on literally everything, because that may go away. That may be a limited run item. The rest of them, though, are all word cloud based class designs. The Rogue one sold immediately. People started buying it the second it went up.
Nice.
Barbarian and Druid are coming next. So if you have another one that you are curious about and that you are interested in seeing and want to place your vote for your specific favorite class, make sure you get that up. Let me know in the chat because I'm taking requests in the order they are received. Your design will be produced in the order it was received. We appreciate your business. Your class is very important to us.
Yeah. So that is, I think, all the basic news. Anybody else have something that they would like to tell us about, or pitch, or talk to us about? I see a lot of confused faces saying no, so we're going to proceed. Yeah. Also, we do want to give a shout out to our friends over at Benpai. I got to play in their game yesterday. That's right. Quarantine time has me not knowing what day it is. So that was a lot of fun. If I can, we'll see if I can finish my guest spot this week or something along those lines. So, all right. Let's get into it, guys. Our adventure takes place on the continent of Lichtracht. It is a land of myth and legend, a land that seemingly finds itself with minimal deities, but a great many number of larger-than-life personalities, some of which our heroes have encountered. They work for the Magnus Exploratorium, a branch of the Republic of the Black Gem, dedicated to archaeological study and anthropological finds throughout this bold new continent. And so they guard and assist students as they delve into ancient ruins and explore wild mountain ranges, capturing, killing dangerous animals, beasts, monstrosities, and things of the like, as well as returning strange relics and ancient artifacts. They had, after returning from about a month-long expedition, run into a group of lizard folk who seemed to be cult-like in their mindset as they attempted to steal some adamantine weapons from the group, and upon realizing that they were not going to be able to, they invoked the name of the adamantine scale, immolated themselves, and left a scorch burn in the earth. Upon returning to Dorian's Dawn, they discovered that many of the student expeditions that had been out has been experiencing similar attacks. Some left no survivors, some had the strength of arms, armor, and magic to repel such attacks. And so they have, under the direction of one Alvaro de Montes, a war hero from the Turning of the Glaive, begun an investigation into who or why the students are being attacked. In the background of this simmers a student body of eagerness and unrest, as a expedition planned to a distant land has been put on hold to a frustrating degree. Last week, you guys had run down a couple of leads. What leads did you run down last week, as I sort of rack my brain to figure that out?
We met Bike, the necromancy teacher. Necromancy and
Antiquities.
And transmutation.
Transmutation, yeah.
And maybe antiquities too. I apologize. We got her key.
Her inside-out bird.
Yeah, because as far as I know, Fable is somewhere on campus trying to re-inside it.
Trying to figure out how it went. I would like to make a friend.
And then Stitch and Treasure went to talk to the Dragonborn, who's in charge of Wyatt's school.
Anthropology.
Sure. And anthropology. And they met a bard. Oh no, there was a gray orc that had jimmied the lock on that professor's door. They tracked him down. There was a bard doing an open air concert of Wonderwall who did some bard shenanigans and hid the orc. But we have access to the key.
Yeah.
Or access to his ledger. We have access. But I think he's going to be watching us. The Dragonborn is.
Yes, Dragonborn Professor is one Elon McLaren, and he will be. He is not giving up the key to his ledgers automatically, but he is willing to travel with you into the ledger room.
Fike, like Rosetta Fike or something, she made it very clear that if there was a lot of what is the word? Secretive information in her ledgers.
If anything gets back around
if anything
the school,
gets out, she's going to know it was us.
Mm-hmm.
and we will make an enemy for life.
Yeah.
And so we got to be very, very careful with the blowback from that. And Fable is desperately hoping that it is actually not one of her people, because if it is, that is going to be a problem, because she likes this halfling and also is pretty sure this halfling could turn her inside out. That key was not a magic trick, it was a threat.
Yep.
That's how she got her key, y'all. She turned a bird inside out and it turned into a bone skeleton key. Sorry, Pip. Sorry, small bird. Yeah, I know. Hide the child's eyes.
Earmuffs, and you can say whatever you want. Shit,
You
fuck.
picked the
bone
wrong
skeleton.
day to bring the bird. Like,
So it is I think we're up to the 5th of Apex now. You guys are
No, it's the 6th. Yesterday was the 5th.
okay. I'm usually a day behind, but I blame quarantine.
Yep.
So it is the 6th of Apex. The summer months are here. It is just after the summer solstice, so the air is definitely very hot, warm, hot during the day. The evenings do cool down to a decent degree. You guys are relatively high on the latitude scale there. What would you all like to do? It is morning. I believe you guys are gathering at the Hourglass Brewery. Isn't that what it is called?
Yes.
It is
yeah, you
indeed.
got it right.
So Quick is not around. I guess he doesn't usually work the morning shift, but he will come down and talk to you guys. You were also awaiting a delivery from him of a meeting time and place for the not Thieves Guild, but the new players in town, who you all suspect to be working on transporting items out of Dorian's Dawn. That note does arrive. It arrives relatively late, and it's going to give you guys a time that is 2 days hence. So it should be it's going to be the 7th of Apex. Let's call it the 8th of Apex, 8:01 a.m. So right at the beginning, right? I mean, 0001 a.m. Right? So right after midnight, first minute.
Okay, I was gonna say, so 1 a.m. Like.
Yeah, the 12:01, the first minute of the new.
Okay, that's it. Yes.
Day.
Good. Amazing.
Yeah.
And does it say? We were hoping that the note would say something about how many people to bring. Like if we're allowed, if it was just bring the leader, come unarmed, come alone, or if it's bring your whole group. We don't fucking care.
It is a statement to bring your group.
Cool.
And come prepared for work.
Oh, great. Cool. A trial by box lifting, I'm guessing.
Well, you get the feeling it is assumed that you have reached out because you are ready and able to work. So it is not. There is no audition time. It is do the job or die. Do or die. You suspect.
Great. Amazing.
So, what with that? A day, 2 days hence. You know what? I'm gonna put that on the 9th for you guys. I'm gonna give you an extra day. What would you guys like to do?
Well, at some point, I want to try to find Sirach.
Mhm.
Preferably maybe sneak up on him since I know he tends to get jump scared.
Make a stealth check.
Don't beat a 15.
Well, I got a 15 on the die, so it's a 26 total.
Okay, that's a little bit more than 15 that I asked you not to beat, but I guess so. Okay.
So yeah, you where so Sirach, are you in the Hourglass Brewery or on your way there? Either way. And
I'm probably on my way to the Hourglass Brewery at the moment.
okay. So yeah, you're on your way, and Tauroth, you see him. Are you walking or are you flying?
I have no reason not to be, so I'm just walking. I'm just like making my way over.
Okay.
I have a very important question, though. Can
Yeah.
your bird fly?
Can Pip fly?
Can Pip fly?
Yes, Pip can fly.
At some point, can we just throw him to signify that you are in fact flying? Because I'd love to see that.
Let's see if I can scare him real quick.
I didn't mean to.
There he goes. He's flying around and he came back.
Oh, I love him. Okay, I'm happy. I'm gonna
All
shut
right.
up now because
But yes, at this moment right now, I'm walking.
Okay. Tauroth?
I'd pretty much just kind of just come up behind him and just a little tap on one side or tap on the one shoulder, be around the other side. But pretty much just kind of stand right in front of him and just.
So remember just 4 seconds ago what Pip did where he flew around the room real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what Sirach does. He just like and then he comes back and he's like,
Hey,
hello,
look,
Tauroth.
hey, Sirach, look, sorry about that. I just
You're
couldn't help
not.
myself. Well, you're right. I'm not that sorry, but I'll apologize.
Thank you.
Now, all that being said, though, did have something I want to kind of chat with you about if you got a second before we make it into the brewery.
Sure. What do you need?
Well, I've been noticing that, I mean, yeah, damn good with the bow, but once things kind of get right up in your beak, it's a little bit of a different story. So, have a bit of a proposition if you're interested. And at this point, I'm going to take
to
the
me.
saber and the short sword off of my belt, still in their scabbard. Now, these are these nice swords that we picked up at that spooky little, say, traveling mansion thing.
Yeah, the planar mansion.
Yep, that's the one. So, how about a little bit of a trade? You hang on to these, you use them as you need to. If you don't mind showing me a little bit of how you kind of keep at a range and maybe teach me how to get a little better with the bow.
I think I could make that work. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna.
What time do you normally wake up in the morning, though?
Ooh, well, I guess that depends on how much I drank the night before.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting up early sometimes. Just I'm just letting you know.
Hey, wouldn't be the first time I pulled an all-nighter.
Sirach will extend his arms to receive the blades of House Ilrain. Ooh, these
Go
are
ahead.
very, very well made.
Yeah, near as I can tell, the same old coot who made these is the same old coot who made my family's blade. That's kind of why I was so interested in them. It's like the make was very familiar. I mean, these ain't the one for me, and I actually feel kind of guilty using them since they're from my family. But hell, if they can help you out, all the better.
As I look at the blades, because I don't think I've really gotten a good look at the blades before now. What do I see anything in the design that is specific that I would pick up on?
You can make a history check on them if you would like.
I will attempt. And that, my friend, was a cock dice. But that, my friend, is slightly better. That is a 14.
Nothing that isn't that hasn't already been shown or discussed. So the blades have a distinct elven curve to them. They are well made. They're not quite rapiers. They are slashing weapons, but it is very clearly a set. They don't have the similar to like a longsword and a short sword, but it doesn't have that versatile property. It's not quite big enough for to be double-handed. There is no subo or hilt on the blades. They almost like a knife, just sort of terminate handle into blade. Although the tang of the blade is almost the entire length of the width of the blade. It's just a sort of a small piece that covers the front knuckle. There's a little notch in there for those. The marking of the house is actually on the butt of the blades, on both of them, and they have a pretty standard sheath or scabbard. I think sheath, because that's difference is one's soft. I think I actually don't know. So other than the things that have already been discovered about them, you don't remember anything terribly specific. You guys know that the Elven House was dedicated to mapping the multiverse and the variety of planes, and that's sort of its house goal. You picked up far more history from your expedition into House Ilrain rather than the blades themselves, but yeah.
All right. I will affix them to my sides.
Okay.
A note, by the way, the difference between a sheath and a scabbard. A sheath is for any long, skinny implement to go into. Like, you can have a wand sheath. Scabbard is specifically reserved for something that has to have hard protective edges for a bladed something. So you can use them both interchangeably in this case for the swords. I just thought that was a fun fantasy tip for all of you running your own games.
Nice. Good
You're
to know.
welcome.
That's really good to know.
Yay.
I was just gonna say sword holster.
Yep. Quick draw, sword holster. So yeah, you're gonna need to take an hour to attune to those, but you'll have time
I'm
today.
sure I will have the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else before you guys arrive at the Hourglass Brewery? What do you got, sir?
No, not before that.
So you guys show up. You grab what is becoming your usual table. It is a little bit of a wait, which is kind of the first time you guys have ever had to do that. But there are 5 of you, and breakfast is busy. You get the feeling a lot of these people are used to being on the road, because this is very much an adventurer's house, and so they are. If they're in town, they're not cooking for themselves, so it takes you a few minutes, nothing terribly long, but you do sort of carve out a little space for you to work.
While we're waiting for the table, Sarai will go, because her room is at the Hourglass.
Okay.
So she'll go upstairs and change clothes.
Okay. Yeah, you go
Pours
upstairs.
bath it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
She passes Fable in the hallway because Fable was staying in her room, and Fable just is giving her these knowing. Need to hose off, do ya? I left everything nice and no. Oh, sorry. Thank you for letting me use the room. Please don't hurt me.
So Fable is going to come rushing downstairs. Saride gets cleaned up, and in short order is
You said horse bath, okay?
Saride performs her ablutions. How would you like me to phrase?
No, it's just like between the two of you, it sounds like she's just got to go like hose the cum off. Like, what the fuck did you think?
No.
The men?
What do you say when you?
Aim.
I say get clean. Like I'm gonna go get cleaned up when I'm gonna come
like,
have
ready for the
food, right?
day.
Like it's not. It's
You, dirty mind, you, not us.
that's on you, man. Mine's a colloquialism, not a.
That's fair. I've had a weird day. All right. Yeah, she goes up, she gets changed.
Okay.
Comes back downstairs.
You guys are together. Go. Or Sirach leaves. Sirach got tired of waiting and said, you know what? I'm out. Fuck this.
Not for long.
Welcome back.
He just went to pick up the eggs and like bring them to us. So this morning it sounds like we're gonna actually have to do some stuff, but I'd like to stress for our more what's the word I'm looking for? Reckless party members. She pointedly looks at Talroth, who has split the party every time she's gone adventure. He's been like, I'm gonna go explore by myself, and she's had to follow him. So she just that today is an intel mission. We need to know how many of them there are. We need to find out the plan. Only it is a emergency circumstance and last resort to try to fight our way through them and stop them today. Unless they're like leaving right after we're done. We gotta get a good plan going. I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to keep watching people die. She says lovingly.
So we're gonna do the job for them?
Depending on what it is, I'd say this is the time to try to get in good, unless we're actively going to have to hurt people. Well, one of two things will happen. They either need help packing up to leave, or they're going out to try to rob one of the other caravans coming in which case we might be able to go with them and then flip the switch. I'm not sure. We don't know what kind of job it is.
You don't know what kind of. You suspect.
Yeah, exactly.
You suspect it is a traveling job. From the details you know, it is involving a boat or many boats.
Oh shit! So this is the okay. So cool. We can't. All right, great, amazing.
You guys know that yesterday was the day the last extant expedition was
Yeah, I thought
returning.
there was one more out. I apologize. I thought there was one more still out there.
Came home yesterday.
Yeah.
Because you guys had the choice of going out or
Yes.
going and hunting down the keys.
Then fuck whatever I said. I am wrong. Should we leave a note with like Alvaro where we're going?
So that's in 2 days' time.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So the only thing that we could do right now is look at the ledgers.
At the ledgers and figure it out fast. You're right. I apologize.
Did we speak with the quartermaster Colette?
Yes. No. We spoke to essentially the phys ed teacher, and I'm confusing them.
No, yeah,
Okay.
we spoke to two of the teachers and got their keys. We did not speak to the quartermaster. I apologize. I'll shut up.
She didn't have a. You don't have to shut up. She didn't have a key.
No, she might not necessarily keep for a ledger, but if anyone's going out on a journey, they normally are speaking to her for some nature of provisions. Maybe she saw or heard something that was a little bit out of the ordinary.
Not who they talked to. But I feel like someone did talk to her now.
No one has spoken to the quartermaster.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we split and keyed and played chess and all those things. Colette has been untouched. No, you're
mind.
okay.
So
You're fine.
Nope, we have not spoken to Colette yet. Huh.
It might be a lead we might want to follow.
Maybe. We don't have a lot of time with the ledgers, though. I think, especially since we're going to be watched with them, we may want to try to get that done, since we do have some time.
We have a few days, right?
You have a scheduled appointment this morning to meet with Elon McLaren to view his ledgers.
So we're going there first.
Okay. So you guys gather together. You head to the library. You are greeted. Standing outside is the Dragonborn. He is sort of a tannish copper-scaled Dragonborn, and up around his neck and collarbone area there is a broad series of reddish scales that sort of creep up the tendrils and spines up the back of his head and neck that drape back there. As he stands there waiting, he'll sort of look over you all and I suppose you're the ones that I've been waiting for. Well, let's get this going then, shall we? And he will turn and lead you into the library. You guys had been there just the day prior, asking to be looked over the ledgers, and that's when you discovered that Dr. Drake had given new instructions to keep information thoroughly under wraps prior to from third parties and such. And so when you guys are making your way back in, the librarian does recognize you all, and she'll sort of give you a all right, I know what you're here for. And as she stands up, and you hear her and Professor McLaren trading pleasantries. They seem to know each other fairly well, and you guys are led back into a lower portion of the library. There are some stairs that lead into the basement, and then a sub-basement. It is a heavily locked wooden door with iron slats that requires its own special set of keys. And this is a very old building. You think part of Dorian's Dawn had been either rebuilt over or utilized portions of an older city. And so this lower level doesn't match the architecture up top, but it is well worked, heavy concrete and stone. It is filed back. You can make a history check if you want to try to discern the construction stylings of it. Okay.
I would be shit at investigation later.
Yeah, he's going for a history. That's an 11 for me.
Okay.
9.
16.
Woo!
Well, I can tell you guys off the bat, it is not Dwarven make. It is Fable. It reminds you of giant construction. There's just certain stylings, but it's far smaller. So it couldn't really have been made by giants, but maybe by somebody taught by giants to design and create the place. It's very well made. And you're starting to feel like this is a little less of just a library, little more of like a vault almost. And when you give it a few moments thought, you realize that just the wide variety of very dangerous books and spell books and things along those lines that a library may accumulate would require some form of secure sector. And that is what you guys have been led into. So, as you guys are making your way down the hallway, your feet sort of clicking and tapping on the heavy stones that echoes throughout the chamber, it does terminate in a magically sealed door. It is stone, this one, and the librarian performs what seems to be a small ritual into there's a little cistern, sort of a bowl that sits out front, this serving as the magical lock of some stylings, and then a stone wall sort of opens up. And she's going to lead you guys in with Professor McLaren immediately at her side. You are greeted by what is a far warmer room than the hallways that you guys had walked through. This one has those old wooden reading and scribing tables with sort of that slant to them. So definitely the old spaceship Earth of the dude passed out on the thing. No one is in here scribing. There are a number of scrolls on the walls, and that seems to be scrolls and books seem to be what adorns most of the walls here. There are two more similarly magically sealed doors, one on the east, one on the west. But she leaves you here with Professor McLaren, and I will be back within the hour. Well, there's a fair amount of information to go through, so better give us two, and if we need you sooner, we'll call you via the mouthpiece. Understood, Professor. Happy hunting. And she'll make her exit from the area. On the far side, in and amongst the scrolls and the ledgers, you see most of that is, at a glance, very old information. It's more kept there for proprietary purposes. There are some old maps that you can kind of look through. This is some old research stuff that is either been updated since or are being kept as like first editions or first notes on things. And McLaren is going to, as you guys are sort of walking in, travel back to the wall that you guys had come through, and in and amongst the bricks, he sort of begins running his hand over them. And wish, this is always a pain. And he sort of runs his hand. He's, there it is. And you realize that there is an illusion over the wall that obscures what are very similar to safety deposit boxes. So he has to sort of hold a hand and like touch the lock, and then he gets his key out, and so he's doing it blind essentially, and it is a little bit of a pain. But he does open it up, and so how far back are you all interested in looking through?
For time's sake, I was thinking we were going to look back over the last couple of months. We know of at least 3 robberies that happened in that amount of time, I believe.
All right. Sure. Give me a moment. And he'll bring out the books. The books are relatively large, sort of like large scrapbooky books. And it's sort of the big, like, two-handed lift and twist. And it puts it on one of the desks. Looks like they are done by month. So he'll pull out like 3 of those and look over them. And what you see are, within the ledgers, there are daily correspondences that go day by day per each expedition for what entries had been messaged back. As you guys are beginning to look through these 3 books, I would like all of you to make investigation checks.
Eight. I was right about not doing well in investigation. I never do.
18.
7.
Also an 8.
Natural 20 for a 25.
Ooh.
That's right. Your girl got laid. Now she's useful. What's up?
I love it. Sarai can see the Matrix now. That's
She can see
Just-
colors again.
with
you
advantage because sex.
So you are looking through the books. So Ride, there is something slightly odd that catches your eye going through these ledgers. And it looks as though, because usually the way the ledger works is that whoever's running the expedition makes the note sort of sending at dusk. That sends off, and then usually a professor will, or like at dawn, that one sends off, and then the professor will read it, write some sort of reply, and even if it's just a received and noted, there's usually some form of reply that the expedition would receive at dusk. So one at dawn, one at dusk. That's the way it works. There are replies that seem to be missing from the teacher side, from the side of Dorian's Dawn. And as you were looking through it, it seems to be that, and you guys know a little bit about this. You had seen it on your trip to the Patchstone Waste. Usually the sending is like a scroll per piece, right? And one person writes, and it kind of disappears. The other person writes, and then it ends up in the book. Magic, right? Good times.
Or a Horcrux.
Sure. Different world. No Horcrux here. Phylactery later, but no Horcrux now. But you get the feeling that there were replies that were written just by the conversational cadence back and forth, but there are words and notes missing. Because, like, for instance, there will be times where it says, as per your instructions, and you don't see
Instructions.
where instructions were given. Thank you for your advice. Like, little notes about that, those sort of things, but you're missing entries.
The professor side.
Yeah.
About how many?
So from what you can tell, and they're not consistent, it looks like within the recent ones, you can pick, the ones that have been, there were about 16 expeditions that had been targeted. including your own. And so it looks like among these ledgers, maybe 4 or 5 of those, of the targeted ones were 1, part of this school, and 2, seem to be missing correspondences.
Missing correspondences from any expeditions that weren't targeted.
I'm gonna say that with Sirach's 18 in assistance, it looks like yes, but those were far more recent.
Recent, like after we showed up on the scene, recent?
Not quite that recent, probably the week before.
Very casually point that out to Sirach.
Sarai, come look at this over here. Move off to the side and just, so that's a suspicious little thing, right?
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Do we want to bring this up to the professor? See how he reacts?
Considering that it's his side of things that are missing, I don't think we can entirely trust him yet.
Do we know if he is the one sending the replies?
It
No,
is
but-
no, it is by individual teacher. So
Right,
some
but-
people
yeah.
some people may ask questions or look for information from different teachers within the colleges. They are rarely specifically talking to Professor McLaren.
All right.
But
Well-
it's his side of things, like it's a faculty member.
Yes. I'm just, do you think there's any way we could find out whose messages they are that are missing?
Of course there is, right?
Maybe you guys get the feeling you need to cross-reference with the other ledgers to see if you can find a consistency or a slip-up, because you're missing the question and the answer, but the
This is
question
one of
and
those,
answer are referenced later. Does that make sense? So once you find out what the subject is that people are asking questions about that seem to be getting erased, then you can narrow down your search.
The only one that wanted, whatever, demanded to be here when we were going through the ledgers, right?
McLaren, yeah.
Yeah. So is this everyone's ledger room or is this just his?
Everyone's ledger room.
So we can get them all out right now.
You can, yes.
I don't like the way you
It's
said
time
that.
for a cross-reference party.
Okay.
This is the most Dan Brown event I've ever run in D&D. I must get
I love it.
to a library.
I love it so much.
Footnotes on footnotes.
Well, like I
Cipher.
was also thinking that it's like you know those old logic puzzles where it's like so and so had a red car, but they lived in a blue house. He was this person. It's like you have to cross-reference the people and figure out. Like I loved those logic puzzles, but I needed it in front of me, and so hearing it and without
Yeah.
I'm so glad Meg knows what she's doing because I'm just here to just be here tonight.
I'm doing my best not to give the players the logic puzzle and just sort of let the characters do most of that, because especially not being in front of people and not having it like. One day I'll just bring up a website and be like, here, solve this puzzle. If you do, you get something. And,
Well, no, what you do is then you have us race the viewers.
sure.
You give it to everybody, you just put it in the Twitch chat and let them participate.
Sure. So there are a couple of challenges here. One, you don't know where any of the ledger boxes are. And you guys don't know, like, you can't read them. Because there's an illusion in the way, an illusion that looks like brick. So how would you guys like to tackle those challenges?
I would like to peer through the illusion. I haven't figured out how, but it's what I'd like to do.
I appreciate that you'd like to. So you get your bird face right up to the illusion, right? And the illusion is actually just thick enough so like when your bird beak hits the wall, your eyes are still on this side of the illusion. And it's oddly...
It's very good.
Yeah, it's oddly close and so frustrating for you guys. You can start to run
Off
your...
in the distance, you hear the tink, tink, tink of the beak.
Roll me a percentile. Rock?
That'll be a 65.
65. Okay. Let's see if luck is on your side. It is not.
Not usually.
But
Yeah, that tracks.
you do notice something. There is a very distinctive. It does make a sound when your beak hits it.
The wall on the other side?
Yeah, the little safety deposit box wall. That looks like brick. It doesn't sound like brick. Sounds more like metal.
Is it at every point where I'm hitting, or there is a point where I've hit and it sounds like metal?
I will tell you what, make an investigation check at advantage because you have a good idea, and let's see how well Sirach can follow up on it.
All right, that'll be 15.
15. Most of the wall sounds like metal. Okay? You can feel and sort of touch and kind of tap. So there are thin bits of concrete between essentially columns of lockboxes. And you can feel the little space in between them. And you actually can feel, as you feel around, you can kind of feel the lock. And you tap them. Some of these sound hollow. And some of them have a much denser sound to them.
But we have like a guy in here, so it's not like I would want to pick the lock.
You do have Professor McLaren here. However, he is, from what Clever Stitch told you yesterday, he seems only to care specifically about his ledgers.
But we have permission to read the other ones, correct?
You do. But
Yeah, so
you guys have, you have the key from Rosetta Vike.
Mhm.
Nolan Munoz, who is the druidic guy that two of you ran into outside of Alvaro's. There you. Octavia Songve, who is the Mistress of Enchanting. You have Luna Zavaletas, who is the outdoor survival ranger woman. Avery, who does the traditional rogue trap and dungeon delving classes, and Freya Jammer, and then who does the spirituality, and she's the adjunct monk professor basically, but she has a key, so she gave it up. You don't get the feeling she's terribly important, but you're welcome to look for her stuff. There is one more on there, an Elsia Holt, who is
Elsia Holt.
Yeah, who is you actually weren't told about. Alvaro didn't tell you
Listen,
about
I know
her.
you say this isn't the Horcrux Harry Potter world, but this is sounding a lot like the end chambers in Sorcerer's Stone, where we gotta do puzzles to get all these fucking ledgers, and they're based on the teacher. If this wall is like a trap the rogue person has set up to protect her ledgers, and then we gotta do an illusion for the other guys, I'm gonna be stoked.
Claren.
Yes.
She'll place a hand on his arm and try to be just as charming as she possibly can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, we have the keys for the other boxes, but we're a little unsure as to how to access through the wall. Might you be a gentleman and show me?
I would, I can tell you how you access mine in specific. It's, each key, and he sees the ring of keys that you guys have. And there's a reason that Rosetta Fikes is made of bone. Actually, most of the keys seem to be made by a distinct material and of a very distinct shape. And he has what is a very elaborate, but you can tell is carved from the fang of a young dragon. Most of the keys have a very specific lock to them. And you do have a key for Alvaro. I should have noted that as well. He is a teacher.
Oh, I figured.
Yeah, but
Everyone else's, but not mine.
Suspicious.
Totally not Alvaro, guys.
As you guys, so he kind of points out is usually the boxes are set specifically for the keys, unless you remember exactly where all of your boxes are. You have to operate by touch and hope that you don't make a mistake. And he'll point out the shape is actually pretty similar as far as teeth go. Talroth, make me a intelligence-based thieves' tools check.
It took me a second to do the math between Dex and Intelligence, but that is an 18.
Nice. The keys are very similar, but the teeth are just distinct and separate enough that two things you realize. One, you can probably insert any key into any lock. But two, if it's the wrong lock and you go to twist it, it may break the key or it may set off some form of trap.
Oh, this is a pretty elaborate little lock and trap system that's set up here. So if we guess wrong, then we got to apologize to some professors there.
Can I make an Arcana check
Mm-hmm.
on the journals? I apologize if you ever I was listening for it and I didn't think that, or I just thought of it and I don't remember you saying something. Do we know if someone would have had to have access to this exact to the ledgers themselves, or just the other side of the parchment to erase something that was in both sides?
Ooh,
Like, for instance, knowing that someone needed to break into every individual ledger, and if we find things missing in these hidden ledgers, that will answer a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And narrow some shit down for us. So if I can tell how they would have had to things out again or erase them or hide them.
Make me. That's a very good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take Arcana. You can roll at advantage.
Hey, thank you. I helped. Okay, babies, let's go. Go. That's not pretty. Why don't I have luck with this character? Shit.
With advantage?
Yeah, with advantage. I rolled like a 6 and a 3, or 9 and a 3. So 14.
14.
My +5 Arcana.
So, because I've almost said it, but you roll well enough. So the way the ledger works is, there's a piece of paper, right? One person writes on it, and then it disappears, and that sends it away. And then the next person writes on it,
I remember that.
and then it disappears. So to access both and be able to sabotage both, they would have had to come into the ledger room.
To absolutely take it. Okay, cool. So if we find things missing from every ledger, you know this is someone who had access in some way. This is not just a dumb student fucking around. This is someone who, boy, I would like to check our halfling queens next, if we can find it. If we can access it, because she was the most particular about giving away her key. So I think that if anything is missing from her ledgers, we fucked. Like, she was a really particular, and either she'll know who had it, and because there won't be that many names, or someone tried to steal it, or she is the villain. I don't like any of those options, so I'd like to check hers. Please,
Okay.
Can we find hers?
So you guys begin searching the walls. The best distinction you have of what the well, remember she could float. Of which box is for which professor is based on the material of the key.
Is there a bone shelf or something carved with birds?
So you,
Is there an aviary cage?
you guys can all roll investigation checks. There is no aviary cage because you're all essentially you as a group have teamed up and are like feeling the wall. And Professor
15.
Professor McLaren will ask you if you would like him to help.
Actually,
I mean, I know which ones are mine, so I can automatically. I think I know which ones are mine. I'm a little, but I'd be happy to help.
I think it's all right because, you know, if we fuck something up here, it should only be our fault. We shouldn't drag into a turf war with professors if you accidentally touch a wrong button.
No,
this is
of course
all on
not.
us. Thank you, though.
All right, of course.
Just in case. I don't want him blowing something up on purpose. Like, I don't trust anyone right now. Like,
I rolled a 5.
Okay. I got a 15 and a 5. What else we got?
15.
15.
Investigation,
Yep.
10.
10. Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So with everybody that rolled, for every 5 you guys rolled, you find one box that is appropriate. And I will say with your dirty 20, Saride, you can go ahead and narrow down if you so choose. It sounds like, so that was 5, 10, that's
65,
3 plus
so
3.
there's 13 boxes that we can find.
13 boxes. 7 of them, thank you. 7 of them are empty.
Are they supposed to be? I'd like to turn, aren't you all supposed to be keeping these really close?
It depends on how. I mean, there are a myriad of boxes. People don't just put the ledgers in here. Some of these boxes also hold sacred or dangerous text of your particular subject. Some of them keep heirloom items or items that have been deemed inappropriate in use, or all sorts of records and things like that. So they're not exclusively for the ledgers, you see.
I would like to make a casual note of whose boxes were empty. Like if there's a bone box that is empty as well as the ledgers, if there's so we can check up with those professors and make sure, hey, did someone steal this cursed gem that you had in a box somewhere? If yes, we have a problem. Because following up with them later, if they emptied their own box, or if there was never anything in it, or if they freak out because someone stole their shit. Because if I were in here stealing ledgers and changing them, I would also take money.
Cool. I'm gonna adjust these numbers just to make it a little more manageable. So there's always 10 boxes. You guys are able to find all 10 of them, and you do know that, let's say, 4 of them are empty. So as a collective, you guys did well enough to discern all of that.
Right. So we can try the other 6 boxes and grab the ledger out of those.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So, having properly identified them, you go through, and the first box that you open, does in fact. Brody's gonna play with dice, 'cause that's how I do. That is how I do. Apologies, guys. I'm musical. So, there are. You do open the first one. It does have a ledger in it. It looks like it is within the past 3 months. So you have one of those ledgers. I'm going to say that one was from Dawn. The second box that you guys go ahead and open up has a another smaller lockbox in it, sort of like a jewelry box or something denser, thicker. Would you like to pull that? Nope.
No.
Okay.
No, I do not want to mess with the Death Goddess's nonsense.
Okay.
We're here for ledgers. That's it.
Okay. So the third box has a very thick book that is in there, but does not look the same as the rest of the ledgers. If you would like to pull that, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll touch it. It's fine.
Okay. You pull it. It feels warm to the touch. Almost like holding someone's hand.
Cool.
And as you pull it out and you kind of grab the book by the spine, like your palms start to sweat. And when you get it into the light, it looks like it's skin.
We found the Necronomicon. Y'all take it and run.
Can't hear you.
Okay. Because it might be nothing, but she might also be extra enough to be like, this is the journal for my third ledger book, because I ran out of normal stuff.
Okay.
Had to use the dead baby book. Like, I don't know.
Sure. So you pull out the skin book.
That is now tonight's episode title, The Skin Book.
Skin book.
Well, better than
This
a
is the
Facebook.
necromancy, like, death god queen, right?
Yep. Cole just declared white people nonsense and backed away.
This raggedy
from,
bitch.
and backed away from the stream. Cole
None of
literally
which
just
is
went.
correct.
To be fair, if this were a horror movie, he should run. Okay? Like, in the words of Troy Abed, be the first black man to make it to the end.
I wouldn't have even been in this situation to begin with, honestly.
So you've done 3. The fourth one has a gem pouch in it. If you'd like to pull that, close that. Okay.
What's in the skin book?
Oh, do you want to open the skin book?
Yes, I want to see if it is a ledger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like she's weird enough that she would use that as a ledger book if she ran out.
Ah, okay. Well, it is textbook size. There is no writing on the front of it. Would you like to open it?
Just one giant eyeball looking back at you.
Nope, no eyeball.
Poke. Then yes.
Okay. I would like you to make a charisma saving throw.
It's my best, right? I'm gonna be fine. Oh, actually, I might be. I can inspire myself, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you can't. No, not until like level 17.
If you'd like to inspire one of us, we can do it for you.
17.
17 is exactly what you needed. As she opens the book, you all see this gust of wind sort of sweep Sarai's hair back, and as the blonde slightly turns to white around the temples, there is this banshee-like wail that fills the room, and she... okay, make a dex saving throw to close it.
Cody likes to age us, okay? Ah!
Older than all of you. Fuck, why can't I find this? I'm so sorry.
They're okay.
A dex save. How am I proficient in those two? What are bards?
No. No.
11?
11. You only needed a 10 to close it in time, so the bird flew away knowing that it was time to run. Well done, Pip. But you do snap it shut in time.
Does my hair go back to normal at the temples, or am I?
No, it does. Yeah. It does.
Am I gray now? Okay.
It does. But
I'm going to put it back in the box.
okay.
Put the box back in the wall.
Okay.
And then get on everybody's face, even Professor McLaren. That never happened. That never happened. Do you understand? When she comes at us and starts asking us questions, that never happened.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I
Cool.
think it has been established that never happened.
Never happened.
So that was for number 5. You open up, and it has a very small vial with liquid in it. Can't hear you.
Is it people goo?
It's her phylactery.
Whoa! Shit.
I'm kidding. I don't
I
fucking
see
know.
if the key turns back into a bird.
Yeah.
I'm like holding it near all of her stuff, and I'm like,
No. Cole.
Can Olaroon use detect magic on the vial?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean, the wall glows with magic, but once I'm assuming you remove the vial from the box. You have to see it to detect magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you do, nothing bad happens, but you do look at it. It is magic. Yes, it seems to be. It is not an. It seems to be either like an oil or a very refined potion of some kind.
Okay, I do learn the school of whatever magic it is.
I will have to look that up for you in a moment, but I will let you know before things go away.
No worries.
It is the strongest potion.
It is the strongest potion. It
Not
is
fit for a beast, let alone a man.
too strong for you,
Haha, we found it.
knight. But yes, you did find it. Good job, guys. So that was 5 of the 6. You open the last one. There is a ledger in there, but it is easy to tell that there is a ledger missing. You guys have Dawn, and you have Numenera. You're missing last month's Traveler.
And whose ledger was this? Whose key did we use to open?
this was for.
This is the necromancer.
Yeah, of antiquities and the transient properties of life.
Shit.
Hmm.
All right. Well, it was gone before we got here. Hopefully, she'll just have to believe that.
Well, I'm hoping that other ones are missing too, because if it's just hers, we're going to have a bit of a problem, and we're going to have to deal with some things. Well, let's check it. Let's check
Can we
everyone
find-
else's.
Going through our other two, can we find missing conversations?
Going through the other two.
Smart. Smart.
Yeah, make me investigation checks.
While we're looking through for some of those missing conversations, do I pick up anything in like a code or like a thieves' cant or anything?
Ooh, okay.
I'm guessing Eric got a nat 20. Eric is doing the nat 20 hula over there.
Yes, nat 20 for 21 investigation.
I got a 13.
I got a nat 20 also.
You got a nat 20 also. All right.
It is searching time.
23.
9.
A whole 9. Okay.
I may as well just log off. I'm really completely useless today.
You stay here.
No, you're not. You, Talroth, you don't find anything that seems to be in... definitely not in Thieves' Cant. Nothing that seems to be in a codified way. There are 2 specific things that seem to be entry 2 types of subjects that seem to be pulling entries or entries missing. Actually, I'm gonna say 3. Am I? So far, yeah. So, 2 things that really seem to be missing. The third one you're not 100% on, but I can give you guys these 2. 1, there is a team whose name seems like it was on some of the early expeditions at the beginning of the year in Dawn, and their name and the names of those participants are removed from the record. It is a team of adventurers, definitely spoken about by the guards, things like that. By the people that went on expeditions with them. The other one seems to be specifically mentions about mythic characters, particularly the articled people, the individuals. And
the
this,
spelljack.
right, exactly.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah, just making sure the spelljack,
Revolution.
the Revolution, the Wanderer. Hey, speaking of which, Cody's latest chapter on his book of lore and Alvaro's story just dropped on our blog, fam. Go read it. He's a fucking brilliant writer.
Very, very kind. Thank you.
And that's coming from me, the best-selling author. I'm gonna use my hat to pitch you, sir. You're so good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, yeah, there's something else sort of missing, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
So we have 2 ledgers, both missing replies from the college's side.
Mm-hmm.
From the Magnus Exploratorium. We're both missing from this side. And subsequently, it would be different teachers. It's the information is what's missing, not specific teachers.
You haven't quite found the subject yet, but yeah, you're not sure. You're not sure. You think it's probably just one or a small group of teachers.
That is purging information.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
This is the logic puzzle night, fam. This is our players are more intelligent, our characters are more intelligent than us, but let's figure it out anyway. I'm excited.
Well, I mean, we have the idea. We know that there's either one or more teachers who are deleting information in regards to anything having to do with that specific team.
Or someone who's found a way to forge that and break in and delete those teachers' commentaries, even if it's not a group of teachers doing it. If they are, I feel like we're dealing with an underground revolution against Dr. Drake and the school.
Or more specifically, what I'm feeling is if anyone were to have the ability to get all of this information, it would be Drake himself or someone directly under the orders of Drake,
or someone who is just willing to go about it in less than legal ways. Some of the keys were just handed over, and also remember, as far as I know, these things were just put in place. When we tried to go just read the ledgers, they were like, new rules. So a few weeks ago, it wasn't this hard to get in and look at them.
That's true?
The key thing is new.
Okay, I didn't realize.
So the lockboxes have always been here.
But the librarian, yeah. The
librarian would have let people in to read recent ledgers recently, but not necessarily everybody, So Drake himself sort of put in some security measures.
Measures he put in that he would then be able to subsequently get over.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely.
That's just Eric mind wandering.
You guys have a couple of other subjects you can start to dig into. I don't want to waste your time going through all of them. So why don't you guys make me one last round of investigation checks?
12.
8. Cole, is it your turn?
15!
Yeah!
15 here too.
Thank God! Maybe I did something!
While we're checking stuff though, one thing that I'm curious about, do the locks look like they might be too difficult to pick with thieves' tools?
Make a thieves' tools check.
Dex or intelligence?
You can use Dex.
Uh, 17.
Okay. They're very difficult to pick. You might be able to pick it without trapping, without triggering the trap. If you spend there's some things going on here, but it's going to take Talroth some time to figure them out. There's something about the trap that is tickling at the back of your brain. And there's something about the lock that's also...
Is it going to bite you?
No, and that's the odd part. Is the trap doesn't seem to be focused outward.
I want to take a look at those empty lockboxes again.
Okay.
So
make an investigation check with advantage.
Yeah, so at least on this one, my attention is gone from the ledgers, and now I'm focusing on those empty ones because I have an idea.
Okay.
21.
Okay. When opened without the key, you can bypass the trap. You can open the lock, but the lock breaks if you don't use the key. You do run into a couple of those lockbox ledger, a couple of the necromantic ledger boxes. One of them seems to be broken, and that the trap had been set off on it, destroying one of the ledgers. As you go through and you start checking the empty boxes, you find that there are about 3 broken locks per college. It does look like someone came in here without the keys to open and doctor the ledgers, and then put them in different lock boxes to preserve the illusion.
Some bitch.
Well, we're right here. Use our names.
No, sorry, Squirt wasn't talking about you. Okay, oof. Yeah, we were definitely not the first ones here. It's like somebody was trying to get a hold of these without the keys, and it looks like some of these ledgers are dust.
So either that confirms the theory that it was someone who didn't have to get the keys in the first place, and they only succeeded in picking some of the locks. Or they only managed to get a few of the keys because they're close to those professors. For ease of my own brain, I'd like to think it was someone breaking into all of them individually, and we don't have to go cross-reference everybody's friends lists.
So McLaren,
What?
yesterday there was an impromptu open-air performance outside of your school.
Yes?
Does that happen often?
Well, when he sort of thinks about it for a moment. Not to sound like an old stodge, but I discourage fun at every opportunity. Personally, I think it distracts the students. However, I know that they have been known to shunt my personal views on joy and pleasure. So, does it happen often? I don't think often, but I know that there is a great love of music in the broader part of the town of Dorian's Dawn.
I was wondering if you'd seen that particular troubadour before.
I shall think on it and roll a d20 in consideration.
What I do when I can't remember things as well.
That's good. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have seen him before. He arrived... I rolled very well, and I'm a professor, and I would be proficient in history, so I remember him extremely well. As a matter of fact, yes, I believe he arrived beginning of the year, and has given a number of performances in front of the variety of schools. Not just mine. Mind you. We are not the only ones that have this joy problem in our lives. But, yes, he was part of a adventuring troupe, I believe. Something similar to your organization here. Yes. What was the name of it? I can't for the life of me remember the name of it.
Since he is a professor, and he does have proficiency in history
Mm-hmm.
and have a really good memory.
Mhm.
Can I make a check to see if he doesn't remember because someone made him not remember?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Okay. Or maybe. Oh, come on. It's a 10.
I will go ahead and tell you that seems likely. You don't know how,
Nice.
you don't know the details of which, but something about it says,
When, I don't know how, but I know he's forgetting something right now.
yep.
Thank you, Ariel.
Welcome. Oh, so that's understandable. You see so many people throughout the day.
I suppose. That's still
Hmm.
a little disconcerting, to be honest. He seems kind of shook. He is shooketh.
You know, I'm surprised with a school like yours where you're so focused that they wouldn't have had to fill out a permission form or get a permit to perform on the front of your grounds.
I thought they would need one, but apparently it's considered public property.
So while Professor Killjoy is distracted, I'm gonna start checking the rest of the boxes, seeing which ones, like specific the ones that the trap was triggered on.
Mm-hmm.
Just what would have been inside of them, like if there's any kind of debris or if it's just gone completely.
I am going to let you know. It's going to take you an hour. I'm just going to say that because you could, with enough time, do this. It looks like they only triggered the trap once. That once they did it and they realized what it did, they were very careful not to trigger it again. The trap does leave some remnants. If you make me an investigation check, there's probably one more bit of information I can kind of swing your way.
That's a 15.
Okay. Most of them only have what seems to be enough boxes opened specifically to pull the ledgers. One key, however, which is inlaid with sort of a crystalline blue vein of arcane powder that twists throughout it and sort of shimmers as it works. This is the key to, I'll find her name. This is the key to Octavia Sangvi, the professor of enchanting. They have an additional box that seems to have been opened.
Enchantment. Well, if they're collecting specific things for any reason, enchanting seems like a good way to go.
This would be to the School of Enchantment, which is mind-influencing effects.
Oh, like forgetting things that you should know really easily.
Quite possibly.
All right, it's gonna sit with McLaren and just talk to him, try to make him less shooketh.
Okay. Yeah, he's recoverable. You just by spending a little time with him make him feel far more at home.
It's good. I want him to like me.
Yeah. As much as he likes anybody, and I mean you are a bard, so he naturally doesn't like you, but you bring that nefarious joy to people.
I'm not one of those bards.
Say what?
I'm not one of those bards. It's
Oh.
I just play the Cure 24/7.
Hashtag not all bards.
So what would you guys like to do?
Panic.
So since we've been able to get into the other boxes, guessing we found all the other ledgers, would
Yes.
there be another one that's missing besides the? I'm going with presumably destroyed one.
That seems to be the only one that is missing.
Is that destroyed one that is missing? Is that the same one that we found from Doom Death Lady that's missing? That one?
Yes, they are one and the same.
Okay.
They're
Thank
absolutely
you.
one and the same. Yeah, I'm gonna say, I know you guys did some nat 20s, but you guys have found a ton of information, and the one thing that does seem to have been very well cleaned over is what the subject matter or who that professor was. So there's still a hint of mystery left, if that is acceptable.
We have enough to go back to Alvaro to let him know exactly what's going on. I think it's a little bit different than what he had thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we at least have enough to go on to get started right now.
Okay.
One thing that I would
Maybe
do
we
is.
can. Sorry, go ahead, Talroth.
Sorry, Larun. Thank you for that. I'm gonna start writing down all the names of the professors that are mentioned, so that way we can try to get a list of all the current ones, maybe some past ones, and then just process of elimination and maybe see what names are left over.
Okay, that sounds good. Guys, here's what I would like to do. It is 9:20. Let's take a 10-minute break, and then we will jump back in. You guys have gotten a ton of information. I hope it feels like you're not spinning your wheels. I don't know that you have enough to like know the answer or anything yet, but I hope it feels like you are making progress, because I definitely
Yes,
think you guys
yes,
are.
absolutely.
Okay.
It does.
Oh no, definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And
It's a good night. It's a good role-playing
It
puzzle
is,
night.
and it's that's what a lot of this arc is, unfortunately. But I'm enjoying it.
That's fine.
The other thing I'll say is that it feels like you guys are picking things up and discovering information, not just as characters or as players, but as both, and that's always sort of the goal. So
It's always fun.
thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to be back right around 9:30. So thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you in a minute. Until then, stay tuned. Back, everybody. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Playing Olarun, the ASMR Hexblade Warlock Paladin Sad Boy.
Good.
Eric playing Sirach, the Arakocra Horizon Walker Ranger.
And playing Fable Frost, the Ace Genasi Sorcerer, Phoenix Soul Sorcerer. I fucked up.
I'm playing Sarai Landir, the Eladrin Glamour Bard.
Hey, this is Mars. I'm playing Talroth Oakenblade, the Wood Elf Scout.
Eric, I don't know if it looks right to you, but it's backwards to everybody else.
Yeah,
When it gets to Twitch, it
No,
flips.
Eric's doesn't flip. Eric's is already inverted. The way he pointed here is the way it showed up on Twitch. Mine is inverted, yours is inverted, Eric's is not.
What about mine? When I point, what to me looks like the right direction. Is that still the right? Okay.
That is the right direction. You're pointing the right direction because Windswept is flipped in the background of your camera. Everyone's is a little different. It's witchcraft, and I don't know why everyone's cameras
So
are
okay, let me just get this straight. Right now, I'm pointing
at Mars.
to Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right now, I'm pointing at Cole.
At Cole,
Yes.
yeah.
And
But
right
if
now,
I
I'm
want to
pointing.
point at me, but if
Yeah.
I want to point at you, I have to point to my other side that you're not on. If I want to point to Meg, I have to go a weird way. It's a
Yeah, no,
it's a
just in
time.
mind,
No.
I have to I'm pointing the opposite direction now to point to Mars.
Yeah, Eric's right. Cole was wrong. Meg.
We're using Discord. We're
Yeah.
using Discord, so you might be and yeah,
This-
it is a fun group tonight.
This
Thank
is
you.
why whenever we get to YouTube and we're like, share, like, and subscribe, we don't know where the button is. Because this
It's
is
always in, but it's always in the bottom. It's,
I know.
It's
It is.
It's always that's, but also,
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
well done,
started
guys.
from the Brady Bunch and now we're here.
Yeah.
That is actually what the Brady Bunch was doing. They were just looking for. Am I looking at Jan? Am I looking at Martha? I don't know.
Yeah. So, guys, we are in Dorian's Dawn. You guys have made it into the ledger room. You have Professor Elon McLaren there with you. He seems to have had his memory modified in some dangerous way. You guys realize that some other group has most likely broken their way in here to adjust these ledgers. However, you also know that there is some form of greater conspiracy afoot, because there are correspondences coming from the professor side of these ledgers that have been erased or modified. What would you guys like to do now? It is midday at the very least.
Are we leaving? We're leaving the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there the Lickdrocktian version of a Kinko's on campus?
I don't think there's a magic that reproduces stuff. Maybe.
I need things done in bulk. I need to make some flyers.
Okay, sure. You can. Well, there's a Gutenberg printing press around here somewhere, I'm sure.
I need to draw up a flyer
Okay.
for distribution
Okay.
announcing a lockdown battle of the bands.
Okay.
Yes, Queen. Yes.
Bitch thinks he can step on my turf? No. I'm the bard in town.
To be
Fucking-
held when and where?
Yes. So, can we maybe before we go?
Okay.
Before we leave, so on because we have 3 days before or 2 days before?
You guys said it was the 6th. You are leaving the night of the 8th. So you have the night of the 7th before that, or the night
Tomorrow.
of the... Okay. For
Well, tomorrow, and then we just pull an all-nighter and go right to the boat. Like,
I too like to live dangerously with exhaustion.
I would like to, before we go meet with Alvaro while Megan is Kinkosing, sorry, Gutenberging, I would like to go back to Our Lady Halfling, please.
Okay.
I would like to return her. I would like to return her key and have a moment.
Taroth, you wanted to go
I'll
with her?
actually go with Fable on this one, yeah.
I'm going to ask
Wait.
Olderun if he'd come with me. She'd like to talk to him, and knowing that you guys are going to the Necromancer, maybe we don't let Angel Boy go to
That
their
is
house.
smart. That is really smart. Yeah.
Can't kill him. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Sirach?
And with this split going, Sirach's gonna head with Fable and Talroth.
Okay, sounds good. So we will get to Sarida and Olorun's moment in just a moment, but let's take the journey now. You guys travel over to Rosetta Fikes College of Antiquities and the Transient Properties of Life.
As we're walking over, Fable, Sirach, I'm a little back and forth on if we should tell her that somebody did tamper with one of them lockboxes and one of them ledgers is gone.
That's literally what I'm going to do. Is not necessarily tell her that something is we're fine. I feel like I have the potential for a rapport with her because I don't care what kind of magic she's doing, and I made that very clear. But I also need to warn her. If her information's getting out, it's not on us. That was her big thing, is she made it very clear that if information started leaking about her branch of the school, she knew it was us. I need to go now and make it very clear that that is not true. Hence the going back to her.
Well, I'll follow your lead on this one.
I like her. I hope she doesn't villain up, but if she does, this is the time to earn that mutual respect. Let's fucking go.
Okay. For those of you that have not visited here before, it looks like they built this collegiate house on what were at some point the Lickdraktian equivalent of the graveyards, and its experimentation, or its lab rooms essentially, are mausoleums, freestanding mausoleums. It leans very hard into its gothic appearances. Has the, as I described last week, it looks like somebody gets up early to like sprinkle cobwebs in the corners, and very
It's an aesthetic.
very Addams Family, very yes, the Munsters, and anything along those lines. You make your way in there, and the gate is, while it swings smoothly, does have the appropriate creaking, almost as though it's been enchanted to make that noise, regardless of its, regardless of whether it actually would or not. And similarly, the front door will only open at the terrifyingly slow pace of...
It does this. We just lean into it. It's a good time.
It is around midday, slightly after, so most of the people seem to be eating around here, although you do get the feeling that there are a surprising number of vegetarians. You think that the subject matter has put a few of them off a variety of dining options.
And a lot about the people who are still like steak. Like they're gonna be the power necromancers. They're going to turn into liches themselves someday. They're like, whatever, it's fine. Rare meat.
Yeah.
Or they are vampires.
As
Is class let out? Can I?
currently, yeah, it doesn't seem to be there doesn't seem to be a class going on right now.
I would like to go find her in her office, I'm hoping.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You travel over there. You do find her in her office, having you actually kind of catch up with her. She was not in there, but she was just returning, you suspect, from her own lunch as well. And when she sees you and your new friends, for those of you that have not met Rosetta Fike, she is a halfling. However, she wears a very slinky black dress and floats at about medium humanoid height. A odd bit of shadow seems to kind of pour out from the bottom of it, and perpetually as she travels, the light seems to darken and adjust so that only her eyes in a narrow band are highlighted. Yes, similar to Tornado of Terror. If you mix that with Morticia Adams, that is the fusion dance of characters
But
that has happened.
I'm imagining the Christine, what's her name? Perry.
Angelica Houston?
No, I'm imagining when, what's her name? Christina Ricci, not Perry. Christina Ricci grew up and cosplayed as Morticia. That's the version of Morticia I'm imagining from this halfling.
Could very well be
the grown-up Wendigo version.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said she was floating at medium humanoid height,
Yes,
which would be taller than halfling height.
correct.
Yeah.
So she's compensating.
If you would like to accuse her of such, you're welcome to.
I would not. Fable
But,
introduces
like, if my wings were to like, if I were to get scared and my wings were to like go, and then it would blow air and you'd see like the dress just like move and like you'd find out where her feet are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of wings, Fable introduced the other two. This is Talaroth and this is Sirach. He is not a key. Making that really clear. He is not the type that turns inside out, but you probably knew that, didn't you?
I had my suspicions, but thank you for confirming them.
Inside out?
Oh, you'll see, I assume. But once we're safely in your office, I'd imagine.
Yes, please.
If you don't mind.
Of course. Follow me.
Fable has, during any travel, and she'll show her this, she has frozen the key to herself.
Okay.
To keep it safe. She took the charge of don't letting any information out very seriously.
Okay.
So she like lifts up or pulls down or lifts this part of her costume or something and breaks off this iced key from her body, and hands it over and stands out of the way of Sirach's wings just in case.
So
Hands her back this key.
She will take the key, and Sirach and Talroth, what you guys see is there's a set of like kind of a pile of feathers and a bit of bird beak on what would have been what you would put like a taxidermied raven on, and so it sort of is slick with a red ichor. It's no longer slick, it's actually kind of very tacky. But she'll reach over and grab it by the beak, which had been also sort of turned inside out. And you hear sort of this snapping as the beak goes completely back the other way. And now is looking a little more appropriate. And she will stuff the key of bone down the bird's beak. And as it does, the bones sort of refill in the birdie meat sack that it had been. And when she is done, she'll put what you would assume was sort of this taxidermied raven back on the bookshelf that'll sort of...
I'm gonna pull out my flask and just take a swig.
I should have warned Sirach in particular not to come, and I didn't think about it until it was too late, and I was like, well, shit, we can't just you're not allowed, we can't just send people off by themselves. I forgot to ask last time because I didn't know that was going to happen. What is his name? That's very appropriate. So then,
that's quite fitting.
Yes.
One of the languages I can speak is Orin.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, I can kind of talk to birds.
Okay, sure.
Are you blink twice if you're in distress?
No, but I kind of just want to whistle, chirp at him and see, is this an intelligent creature that is being used specifically to turn their bones into keys, or is it sort of like it's there, it's living, but not in the actual sense, but in a magical sense?
Okay, make me a handle animal check. And because you are of similar, I'll give you advantage in this instance specifically.
Rolled a 4 and a 2, 6.
You whistle, it'll whistle back, mimicking you, but make a nature check.
19.
It doesn't seem any more intelligent or less intelligent than a normal raven. but you do sort of get the feeling, given it is. You wouldn't call it. It's probably not alive in the traditional sense. It
That's
may be,
kind of where I was trying to get with that.
yeah. It seems either like reanimated or post life. Yes, sir. Right.
Are you a fan of comedy?
Say that again.
Is Professor Fike a fan of comedy? Because in order to get to the lockboxes, you have to get the key and peel.
Get out. Get out. You're fired. I've made an executive fucking decision, ma'am.
I am unmuting strictly for this.
On that note, somewhere Fables just out of nowhere just starts giggling. She sensed that joke, but then down to business. So, with a keys named like Key, despite the aesthetic look of this place, I get the feeling you're about down to business at your heart. So, I'd like to do so.
Please, at your leisure.
As you can tell by the chunk of ice missing from her chest, from the measures I took to keep your information safe, I do take that very seriously. You keep the secrets when they're given to you, and I've come to warn you, I don't think that we're your problem in that area.
Oh.
You may not have given this key to someone else, but someone else has started finding things out that maybe you don't want them to. We don't know who it is, but you may want to turn your attentions to other enemies you might have, or people who might want what you have. Now, if you yourself have taken things from your lockboxes, that's not my business. But if you haven't, I just needed you to know that wasn't us.
What are you saying has gone missing?
I don't know. Was it a ledger? I thought something else in
It
a
was the
box.
most recent ledger.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Talroth
I
would-
thought for some reason that because we said there were other boxes that had other stuff, I just wasn't. Okay, good. Then yeah.
Yeah, Talroth would step up at this point.
Perfect. Good.
And near as we can tell, somebody else was in there ahead of time, and they've been trying to break themselves into some of them boxes. Looks like one of yours had some kind of trap triggered on it, and whatever was inside, a ledger that we presume got dusted.
Someone less careful than us. Now they might know nothing if the book was destroyed, but they might have gotten into the other books just fine. At the end of the day,
In fact, we're pretty sure they did get to the other books.
yep. So at the end of the day, if you're about to go start making enemies here, I'd like to help you in the hunt, but it's not us.
She'll ponder on that for a moment. She sort of severes her eyes and squints and looks each of you over. I appreciate you bringing me this information. It is troubling, to say the very least.
For us as well. How do you think we feel chasing after someone who's one step ahead of us? They could be a danger not only to the entire school and any future or past expeditions, but if our thoughts are correct that they've collected things for specific reasons, they could be a danger to countless others. Maybe they're just typical thieves, but they got past several locks on their own without the keys.
Good to know. Well, I'll do whatever I can to see that my studies and my collegiate endeavors remain intact. Yes, Sirach. Yes, Sirach.
the ledger where we found a team from Early and Dawn, the names were removed. The team name was removed. Did we know? What book was that? Was that from her book? Or is that from
it happens in multiple. It happens in multiple books.
All right, but it happened. So what I'm asking is, did that happen in her book as well?
Yes, it did.
Is there any chance she might be familiar with the information?
She will think. She will think back on it. Huh. Let me see. And you watch as her eyes sort of start to dart around, and she has a similar sort of reaction to trying to remember that name as Professor McLaren did.
You've forgotten, haven't you?
Yes, I believe so. It's very much like having a word you just can't quite remember or how to say.
It's not Wyatt, is it?
No.
Just throwing a word out and saying if it triggers something.
No, not at all.
By any chance, one of the other professors mentioned something about some free entertainment, some music, bards, and all that stuff happening outside. Don't suppose that they've been putting on any free performances here?
Different troops come through. Some of the students will often play pipes of haunting, or I try to encourage organ music at every opportunity. We find that sometimes the best way to wake the dead is with a rousing dance. Macabre.
And I'm all for a dance macabre. But anyway.
Cole's face.
Whatever I've said it before, but whatever you do or don't do here is fascinating in its own way.
I appreciate that.
And I'd like to see most branches of magic continue to be studied.
As would I.
This one hasn't fallen out of favor with me, so if you have any need of anything to help protect what you have here, if you hear anything else about who might be breaking in, or if you remember something, I've no doubt you'll find a way to contact me.
Well, I was hoping you would do me the kindness of bringing to me whoever it is you discover to have violated my privacy.
I'm hoping we can find them first. That's step one.
That's right.
As for step two, I'm not sure we're going to have that permission, but if we're allowed to decide what to do with them, I'd love to see your particular brand of vengeance. She glances at the bird. It's like, I wonder how many keys you could make with an inside-out jackass.
The fact that you did not agree to bring her these people has visibly upset her.
If I can, I will. They may be taken away from us. I'm not that good. But if I have a say in it, I will.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility that somebody else might want to lay claim to them prior to our finding them.
Basically, if we beat them to it, sure. But I don't think we're the only ones looking.
Do you have a preference on if they walk in under their own power, or if you need to bring them in a bag?
I'll take them anyway.
Oh, well, that should be easier then. Good. I look forward to that then.
Then hopefully I'll see you soon.
One can only hope. key. She like waves at the raven. Who's a good creepy key? You are.
You are.
Sorry, Sirach. And if she needs nothing else,
Just those who violated her privacy.
valid.
So yeah, before we leave, I'll just politely bow. Just thank you for your time, man.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. I'm uncomfortable with a lot of things, but she's
Sirach-
not a person we need not on our side right now. Fuck. Sirach, what? Sorry.
Rock just wants to get out.
Well, you
I'm
guys.
sorry, I should have sent you with the others. I'm so
He
sorry.
watched a bird get turned inside out again. He's like,
It was worse the first time. At least you saw it put back together. I saw it taken apart.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Listen. She, as they start walking back to wherever, she will start comforting him with like her thought process, which is like, look, we're both looking for ways to cross between planes. I think crossing between life and death is at least a step in the right direction, don't you?
Okay.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink, all right, buddy? She just
We're good.
hug the bird. If he will let her, she would like to hug the bird.
You're like his best friend here. Of course he'll let
I'm
you.
gonna rub the rocks back.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, we're okay. It just caught me off guard.
Listen, I feel the same way every time I'm in the bar and they're chipping away at ice blocks. It's fine. Except for they're not alive, so probably not the same way, and that was a bad joke. Just try.
So
Cheer
with
him
that, we're gonna flip channels and let's go check in on Saride and Olaroon for a minute, shall we?
Just trying to cheer him up. I broke him.
Right, we're
There's no smooth way to transition. There really isn't.
No, there's no segue for that. I'm
There's no
sorry.
segue.
we're just
It's
standing there,
just-
magical Kinkos.
It's just smash cut to there.
I like to think it's an Archer style cut where it's like chipping ice, and they're like, because we can't get that much for these. Like, it's just that smash cut.
Yes, I don't know, man. You said you wanted. Did you have something you guys wanted to roleplay or talk about before we move on? I thought you did.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I've been a little, I've been preoccupied this week. I had some business that I needed to take care of, but, I wanted to speak to you. We haven't really had a chance to catch up since we got back from the mountain.
Yeah, it's been a time, to say the least. There's been a lot. There's been a lot going on. I mean, so you know how I used to like carry a sword and I used to like hit people with it, you know? That
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean I still do, but I don't need to like hold it, and you can see like he doesn't have like I don't have a scabbard anymore.
Yes. Do you need a new one? Because we could talk to Thosin. I'm sure he'd be more than happy.
I bet he would be. that I had to
Or,
do it.
'cause he's a fucking blacksmith and that's his job? What the hell?
We don't necessarily need to do that because I can. He looks around. Is there anybody like around in the immediate area?
You guys are at a magical Kinko's, so yes, there. I mean, not like within 5 feet of you, but there are people in the room
Well-
coming and going, and
There's never anyone in a Kinko's.
Yeah.
there's people working there. Is what I'm saying.
So if I were to like spawn a magical sword out of like thin air, would that freak somebody out?
Very low chance. Very low chance.
Okay.
They are not paying
It's cool.
attention to you. They are
Okay.
primarily distracted. So.
So he kind of just like looks around and like puts his hand out, and a golden sword appears in his hand, and he's like, "It's like I can do that now." Yeah. And then he just kind of like lets it disappear.
Oh, that's amazing. That's what
It's
you've been looking for, isn't it?
not really. You know how I told you I was looking for that sword in particular? What I probably didn't tell you is that the sword kind of talks to me, and has asked me to find it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you know that haft that we found?
Yeah, for the axe.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
You
The
know
one
how
that set everything on fire.
exactly. There's a number of them. Alvaro actually has one. Not an axe, but his glaive is one of the. They're called the Arms of the Fated, and I'm looking for one. Called Dawnbringer. I don't know if you heard of it. You may have. Um, just it's a nice humble brag there. But
Kind of a big deal.
it's kind of a big deal. So I've been she kind of came to me like a year and some change ago about finding her. I call her just because she sounds like a girl. I don't know. It's a sword, so there's no real way to, gender
Right.
that.
Sure.
But as after the mountain, I had a dream. I had a dream that, and in that dream, Dawnbringer didn't really come to me because, again, she's a sword. She just kind of, speaks in my head.
Right. Yeah.
Like things do.
Mm-hmm.
But she essentially, she kind of asked me if I was sure about finding her. And it's weird because for so long, you've met my parents. I don't necessarily. It's more like they've been telling me what I should do, or something somewhere has told me what I should do, and even like Lightbringer and Michael, they've all told me what I should do. This was the first time someone asked me what I wanted to do. And long story short, turns out a lot of people have looked for Dawnbringer and failed. And they've died. And I am absolutely terrified that that's going to happen. But for the first time, I made the choice. And it was my decision to find her. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Gotta hug him. Oh. I don't like that I can't hug you right now. This is garbage. Oh. If anyone can do this, Hollerin, it's you. I saw when you were 6 years old. There's a light in you. It's very bright. And you can't seem to hide it, can you?
His eyes kind of like glow a little bit. I guess not. But you know, I'm scared, nervous, honestly confused. But it would really help me a lot if you could be here and help me.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my home now.
Thanks. So, who are these bards we have to crush?
One, he's blonde from what I can hear, and he's elven, and he's going to die.
I mean, I've gotten pretty good at like the whole smiting thing. I could kind of.
No.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
handle this like a professional artist. I'm going to embarrass him in front of a bunch of screaming teenage girls.
Can I help?
Yes,
Yes.
I think. Actually, yes. Yes, you can. So yeah, she'll put together sort of poster with the date on it. Open mic nonsense with like a prove your heart,
With a
come
what?
be a bard.
Oh,
I don't know.
with some form of saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but something very like specifically taunting of you ain't shit if you don't show up, because I want this guy here, but I don't know what to.
Okay,
I don't know.
make a
Smack talk check.
yeah, make a persuasion check.
Can I help her with that?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
you don't need it. Natural 20 for 27.
Okay, it is quite the taunting poster that you have put together for this battle of the bards. Where have you set this this grand showdown to take place?
Ask quick before I say it's the hourglass, shouldn't I?
It's up to you.
How far is the hourglass from where we are right now?
You're in town. It's an hour, 30 minutes. Not tremendously far.
I can't cast a message that far.
No.
You can create the poster and then ask him for permission right after.
Or we just create it, start posting it, and then don't say it was us that posted it. But I don't feel like being that much of a dick. So, I'll go run over to him.
Okay. Just go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh no!
Can I help?
Sure, you can help.
Okay.
So what it? So I was just gonna do a roll, but now I need to hear the pitch. How do you guys want to convince Quick to let in a bunch of college students, screaming teenagers, when this is, as we have established, the Adventurers Bar, who and the place that the like frat guys go on a dare.
Can I try and may I
please.
try and pitch this to him? Or do you have something already planned?
No.
Okay. I will go Quick.
Yeah.
Do you see this stunning woman in front of you,
Oh,
correct?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Swidlandir is a bard of high repute.
Mm-hmm.
Having her play at any point in your bar is sure to cause a spike in business.
But I can't even serve the people that I've got in here. I mean, we're all crammed in here every night. What am I supposed to? Where am I gonna put them?
Well, So here's the thing. What
Okay.
if you created an outdoor stage?
Oh, okay.
That way they don't necessarily come in and fill up your inside, but you can still profit off of the entertainment.
Okay. I mean that sounds good, but it sounds like a lot of work. I mean, by tomorrow, how am I gonna do that?
So, there's a thing.
Take care of all of that.
Oh. Okay.
Of course. And the cleanup after.
Oh. Well, that sounds expensive. Do I have to pay you for that?
Great exposure. That's what you pay artists in.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh, I've been doing it wrong then. Okay. I guess I
Well-
can pay you an exposure. That sounds awful, but okay.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say no to I don't think we would say no to a 5% cut. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, 5% is great for me.
A 5% cut of the gate for us, and
Okay.
then the rest to you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna trust you guys to. He looks at the poster. Did you put a door price on it?
Not yet.
Okay.
A silver for entry.
All right. A silver per entry, but it's outside.
Exactly. There's a thing that I've heard about in my studies, a spell known as the fabricate spell,
Okay.
which allows you to quickly erect things as long as you have the required material.
Oh, yeah, I'm on board with that. I'm just wondering how do you keep people that are outside from watching the show?
Well, what you can do is you may not be able to stop everyone.
We're going to have security at the thing.
At the
Okay.
gates.
And that's right. And anyone who doesn't have a black X on their hand, showing that they've paid, will be moved away
Okay. All right.
so that they don't enjoy or bother anybody else.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you guys are gonna, it sounds like you're doing all the work and giving me 95% of the profit.
Like, yeah, when you... Yep.
Exactly.
So I literally have no reason to say no to this. I
You
could
don't.
I could not negotiate a better deal if I tried. So
You could-
I will say okay and accept this.
We're
All
all
right.
making some choices tonight, y'all.
So that means we got to find someone who can cast the fabricate spell. We got to find all the equipment necessary.
We don't need to fabricate. It's fine. Anyone who comes is going to have their own, like, equipment, and they'll be able to sing. And I'm pretty sure I know someone who could put together a makeshift stage very quickly. He's very good at directions. And then...
I'm so proud of you.
when I do it. Yeah, and then everyone else can wander around and try to figure out who these people are. Or if they see anyone that looks shady. Eh?
Yeah.
Eh.
Okay.
So we go back, we put the door price on there.
I mean, literally, it's whatever you guys want it to be. You're planning the event, and so yeah. I mean, quick. Literally.
Listen, if it goes well, we can make it a trial run thing and just make this a regular event.
then you
This
wanna
is a proof of
renegotiate with him
concept.
after. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole reason we're doing this is so we can find that fucking bard.
Okay.
And this is the quickest way I can think to flush him out.
That is a good way to flesh him out. Okay. Okay. You guys reconvene after. Well, I guess you go around and start plastering the town with
Yeah.
With flyers. You get everybody to help with the street team that is gonna hype this bard battle.
I am hype. I am on hype team. I would just Fable has made herself into a head cheerleader right now, and she is like singing and like chanting and trying to get people cheering in the street of Battle of the Bards, Battle of the Bards. And she's got a banner. She's leading a Brazilian tour group through the city. Like, the theme park people will get that one.
Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you guys want to get done today before we move from the 6th to the 7th?
I think that's it, honestly.
Okay.
Aside from just hitting up the town,
Sure.
maybe just like window shopping or something.
Okay. So here are my thoughts, guys. It is 10:25, 10:30, somewhere right around there. I don't want to get into the Battle of the Bards tonight because that feels like its own
That
little...
feels like a next week thing.
Yeah, it feels like its own mini adventure. If there are...
Well, we can double up Meg next week. We can't double up Olrun because Cole has his own special thing he's doing on next Monday.
What are you doing next Monday? Do you want to tell us if you can?
So, this is a weird situation. Like 6 years ago, I played my friend Mike in NBA 2K
Okay.
and crushed him,
Okay.
and he has still not let that go,
Okay.
proceeding to tell me at every point in time that, quote unquote, I'm running or I'm scared to play him again.
Okay.
I'm not scared to play him again because every time I've been like, "Yo, get online and we can run this," and he's like, "Hey man, I would, but my wife won't let me buy PlayStation Plus." Da 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 da. And I tell him to stop hiding behind his wife,
Okay.
and evidently he finally got PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
So we have set up the showdown. This is 6 years in the making for next Monday at 8.
So I told him I thought it was this Monday, and I was like, hey, I thought you were playing. And he goes, no, next week. I scheduled it around disasters.
Okay.
So, like, because he did the thing, he scheduled it around when he was usually here. I don't want to, like, punish people for being prepared.
No. Please,
So,
that's super awesome. I'm glad you're prepared. Yeah, if you record it, do a supercut for us. We'll put it on the channel. To what end, I don't know, but we will.
for fun.
No, because we're gonna stream it because I announced that it was gonna happen, and everyone's like, all right, are you streaming this? Can I watch this?
Yeah.
Because you know me, I'm a very quiet person in terms of like, I don't like talk mess to people. But I'm about to talk so much trash in this game. You all have no idea. This man has had it coming for years. And it's about to go down.
Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds awesome. We would love to, stream it. Definitely stream it. And if we can put a cut or something up on the channel later, that'd be awesome too. If not, no big deal. Is there anything you guys would like to do that is of a shorter-ish nature before we call it a night? Talroth, you mentioned potentially shopping. Is that something you're looking for?
Just like window shopping, just
okay.
see if I find anything interesting.
Then I would tell you what, I will generate for you just a random general shop. What I will say is that because literally all of the adventurers are in town and stuck, it much like basic supplies, they have been stocked up on. So you do find a couple of uncommon things. I believe it's a potion of divination, Olaroon. The potion from the vault. I'm gonna double check the spell school, but I believe. Oh, I left that upstairs. I believe it's divination. If not,
What do you need? I can look it up.
I will let you know. I got it.
What do you? Okay.
I'll look it up.
I'm like, I'm upstairs. I can look things up.
I know. I appreciate it. You do find a couple of uncommon magical items at. There's a couple of potions of fire breath that are uncommon. There is a ring of mind shielding, which may prove useful. And there is a +1 maul. I don't think any of you will benefit from having that, but those are the things that are currently available.
So no way for me to find, I don't know, like mithril plate armor? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Currently, right now, there is no mithril plate armor. I apologize.
Okay. No, you're good. I just figured I'd ask.
No, ask. Please do ask. It's important for me to know what you guys actually are interested in having, because otherwise I just throw random items at the wall and see if something sticks. So, yeah.
+1 longbow, cough, cough.
Boots of Elvenkind.
I will
No, but I'll make a note of the
always
the
take
different
boots of
items,
flying
so
because that's
that
where
way-
always just Caitlin wants them. But also like that's better.
Okay. So
Yeah,
right.
I'll just make a note of what I found, just kind of chat with everybody, see what they want, so we could probably chat about that just afterwards.
Absolutely. You guys can send me if you have any price inquiries or anything like that. So. Cool. Well, guys, I had a wonderful night. I think it was a very good game. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Usually we go to 11. It's 10:30, but I think we've hit a point where if we start doing more, we'll get to an awkward stopping point. So
Agreed.
yeah, you guys have had a wonderful night. We continue this roleplay heavy arc, but I think we will end with some clever combat, and you guys are problem solving in really fun ways that I'm excited to see how it all plays out. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. For those of you at home watching, we really love and appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are going to say goodnight. We're going to be back tomorrow night with Storm King's Thunder. Cole over here is going to be running it. I get to play. Meg's playing as well. Going to be a great time. So we will see you guys next time. But until then, be cool.